Hey guys, welcome back to the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, and I'm bringing you guys this video on a Sunday. I didn't get the chance to do my weekly Saturday review video on this Saturday. I was doing a lot of stuff. Didn't get around to reading all my books and being able to put out a review, so I'm going to be doing it today. I think I gave fair warning of this beforehand on, I think, Thursday, I think it was. So if you saw that video I put on Thursday, you probably were expecting this. Anyways, I got a bunch of online books to review first, and then I only got 2 books and issues right here to review. So I'm just going to start out with the book that I liked the least of this week, and going to the most first online and then physically, like I normally do. And the first book I'm reviewing is Detective Comics issue 19, or issue 900, whichever one you want to go with. There was 5 stories in this. There's the main story dealing with some man-bat stuff, an infestation of man-bat. There's a lot of the stories in here are focused on man-bat stuff, so that's going to be a main player in the future of Detective Comics as we continue to develop the Emperor Penguin story arc that's going to be coming up, and it's just not interesting me. I said I would drop this book before, and then I found out about this being the 900th issue, so I had to read it. I read it. Out of the 5 stories I really enjoyed only one of them. I was entertained by a couple, and then the Bane story I just didn't care for at all. But the only story that really wowed me in this whole issue was actually the last story, which is the whole police, one of the police officers being cured of the man-bat, or the man-bat virus that he was infected with, and after being in a fight with Batman, so some of his fellow police officers are congratulating him for going toe-to-toe with Batman, and then there's just a conflict between some of the officers who are opposed to Batman and then the officers that are pro-Batman, and it's very interesting how that's handled. So, and the art in all these stories are great. It's just the stories weren't so compelling besides that last story, which was done very nicely. So, yeah, I mean, you probably pick this up anyways because it's the 900th issue of Detective. But as for quality reads, it's entertaining, but it's definitely not the best that came out this week. Next, as I switch, I tried out Swamp Thing issue 19. I tried this out after seeing Running with Comic Scott's review, his in-depth review of this, and so I was thinking, you know what, I was already going to try Animal Man out this week, might as well try out Swamp Thing, and I did like this book. Of course, there were going to be some things I wasn't sure about, like what the green was. I just watched Gambit 896 videos, and in his video he explains what the green and the red were, which were going to be questions of mine in my video, but now they've been answered, so now I'm up to speed on what that is. So pretty much this is a good starting point for a Swamp Thing reader. You get a whole lot of background story, and it's a lot of stuff that I'm familiar with, me having already read the first issue of Swamp Thing by Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson, I think. I can't remember the team on that, but the first issue. So there's a lot of things I was familiar with, and then the Scarecrow stuff in here was really cool, and I just think the art in here is great. The way Swamp Thing is drawn is fantastic. But the story, I was in it, but there was a lot of retelling of just giving you a background on what this character is, which is good, but there was a little bit too much for me, and so that's why it kind of got me out of it for a little bit. But once we get past all that, we get into some really cool Scarecrow stuff in Metropolis, which is a weird place to see Scarecrow in, for me at least. And Superman makes an appearance at the end, which is also very cool. So Swamp Thing was pretty good. As I switch to the next thing, next book that I liked here was what I just forgot the title, and I pulled up Thanos Rising. I almost said Rising Thanos. Thanos Rising, issue number 1, and a lot of people were excited for it. I even have the promotional poster on my wall and everything. So, read the book, and I was kind of like, well, whatever. I didn't really care to see an origin story for Thanos, honestly. I thought this would just be really setting up Thanos' place in the Marvel Universe now, so the Marvel Now universe. I thought it would be setting up his place to come into Nova and Guardians of the Galaxy and all that kind of stuff, but it might do that. I mean, this is only the first issue, but I really just didn't care to see Thanos' origin. I don't care to see Thanos as a sympathetic antagonist. I just want Thanos to be an evil guy, and that's how I want to see him, is that he's just pure evil, and that he wasn't brought up that way, or that there was some kind of event that, makes him that way. I just want him to always have been that way, and that's just a me thing. I know a lot of you probably are going to like this. The art in here is great. Jason Aaron's a great writer. For me personally, I didn't care to see an origin story to Thanos. As I switch again, I get to Indestructible Hulk, issue number 6. Of course, Mark Waid and Walt Simonson, so I'm not even going to have to really say that the art in here is amazing, but the points of art that I really love is when Thor is here, because Simonson and Thor, of course, they go together, so, Simonson being known for Thor, and it's just a great combination, and that's what I want to see. But the story in here is pretty cool. Bruce Banner and a team of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, they go to Jotunheim to mine for some stuff, some things that I can't pronounce. They get a scuffle with some frost giants, and there's a battle. There's not much to it, but the art in here just really makes the issue for me, actually. The writing, the story didn't really have me in it. Of course, there was when I was reading it, there was a lot of noise going on in the back in my house, so it's kind of taking me in and out of my reading anyway, so I might have to give this a reread. But that's Indestructible Hulk, issue number 6. And then I have Age of Ultron, issue number 4. We found out Ultron is operating through Vision, and in this we get a couple of deaths. We get and finally all these Avengers that have been scattered around the U.S., the ones in New York, the ones in Chicago, and the ones in San Francisco, they finally come together in the Savage Land, and yeah, that's really what happens. We get a couple deaths, but really not much happens in this issue. But next issue, I believe that we're gonna really start moving. So that's really all I can say about Age of Ultron issue number 4. And finally, hands down the best book I read online, and probably might be the best book I read this week, was Animal Man issue number 19. And this is coming from somebody who's only read the first issue of Animal Man. not the New 52 one, but the first issue. Not having read or even known anything about the Rot World stuff, not knowing anything about the characters besides Buddy Baker, and he has a wife. And the art in here has me sold, and the writing here has me sold. Of course, we're getting, well, not of course, but we're getting the death of the son, Cliff Baker, and just the art in here really sells me on it, that even though I don't know the character or anything like that, I can see the main characters in here. I can see their pain and just, you know, what they're going through in here, and it sells you so well. I definitely recommend picking this up, even if you're not familiar with the Raw World stuff, or you know the characters and things, just because Lemire does a great job of writing this story in a way that you can get into it even if you don't know the characters, and the art accompanies his writing very well, and it's a $2.99 book, so everything's going for it on this one. Pick up Animal Man issue number 19. Finally, the books I got right here, the two. First one here is Deadpool issue number 7, and this is the weirdest issue I've read this week, because it has nothing to do where we left off in issue 6 with Preston being in Deadpool's head and all that kind of stuff. They mention it even in the front page, and they did kind of a throwback story to Deadpool's 80s run, even though he wasn't created until the 90s, and it's just really funny. They even give it an old feel. The art in it is great, actually. I love that art, honestly. The story in it was kind of weird. You had an advocate for Mephisto pretty much trying to hire Deadpool to get Tony Stark, you know, drinking. Like, make sure that he's drinking, but he writes Iron Man in the contract, so Iron Man has to drink and, you know, stay an alcoholic. And, you know, they make a deal. He makes a deal with the devil, pretty much. And what happens in the book is pretty smart on Deadpool's half, and it's, you know, it's pretty cool. It's enjoyable. Not the best story, but it is just filler. It's an issue that you could just pick up or be without. It doesn't really pertain to anything. It's just there. It's a one shot, pretty much. It's a one shot that doesn't even do anything for you. It's you just pick it up. It's not anything. It's just fun. Yeah, so I mean, I enjoy it. Pick it up if you like Deadpool, but that's if you just really like Deadpool, the character, a lot. Because if you're a casual, pick up here and there, you might not like it, unless you like that kind of old storytelling, which is fun for me. And there's some really funny Peter Parker stuff in there. And yeah, so there's Deadpool issue number 7. And finally, another great book, and this is Venom issue number 33. We don't even see a lot of Venom in here, but we do see a lot more Toxin in here. We see a lot of that one strange looking guy that we don't get a name for, and he's gross looking and has like Dr. Octopus kind of tentacles and all this kind of stuff, and we get a lot of him. We get Flash going to some AA meetings, which is a cool thing. His inner monologue in his head while he's at these AA meetings. And then we finally, at the end of this, Venom and Toxin finally meet up. They're going to finally fight in the next issue. So this has been being set up for a while, but being set up right out in the open. So that's kind of, it's been teasing you for way too long now, and we're finally going to get it, so I'm excited for that. And Chalvet's on the art. But he actually did a good job with Venom this time. I didn't have any problem with it, actually. In fact, the last page in this, you got Venom with some wide open eyes, and it looked like how Venom should look like in this kind of art style. So definitely enjoyed that, and everything about that book was a plus. Besides, now it's been good amount of issues, and we haven't had Toxin and Venom meet until now, but we're finally gonna get it next issue guaranteed. There's no going around it this time. But anyways, that's all the books that I read this week. Reviewed it for you guys, getting it out to you a day late, but as long as it's out. And just shout out here to Big Will Comics. I won his contest. I'm really stoked about it. It's really late right now, so it doesn't show in my face, but I'm really tired, but I'm also very stoked as well. So thank you again to Big Will Comics. I'll do an unboxing video to that, and I gave you all my information in a message. So check that out, and check out his channel. I'll link it in the description, and also check me out on Google Plus. I'll link my page to the description. Add me as a friend. Do what you do. And that's it for me, guys. I'm Wellington signing off with Comic Book Lowdown, and I'll see you guys next time.